to turn around. He knows it's through him. Watch this. Oh my! You just see that? A magician. That's incredible.
Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining me today. This is Murad Says Podcast, episode number 3. I'm your host Murad Shihabi, and today is Sunday, the 26th of March 2017. I hope you had a very nice, relaxed weekend. Also, I hope you had a good week before that at work or university or at home, whatever that you are doing. I hope you did it well. That's a very nice quote actually by Abraham Lincoln. He said, "Whatever you are, be a good one." I like it a lot because it gives you a lot of power over what you are, whatever you are. A housewife, a doctor, an astronaut, a house husband, anything that you are doing, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you do it well, right? Anyhow, 3 parts into today's podcast. A quick look at the news, then the second segment would be the main segment where we discuss theory of mind, a concept from neuroscience, and then at the end there is a small segment at the end of the podcast. I opened the news to take a look what happened last week. I found the most interesting thing that I found is that parrots find laughter contagious and do high five mid-air. Fantastic. If you want the like reference for this, or the source, actually is the New Scientist website, or I think it's a magazine for science. They have really nice stuff. Some of them you have to pay to read, but many articles are also open. I think this one you can just read directly. Yeah, quite cool if you find such things interesting. What else? I think it was a quiet week, relatively, more or less. Yeah, there has been the thingy in London where someone attacked 4 people, killed them, and yeah, quite tragic. What I don't understand is when someone, many people actually share this opinion with me, when someone shows empathy or sympathy for such an attack and pray for London or Paris, or it's really nice. It's also very sad when something like this happen. But why do you only support or show empathy when something like this happens in London or in Paris, and not when it happens in anywhere else that you don't care about, or when it is not a terror attack made by Muslims, let's say? I know that not everyone, I'm not saying everyone is against Muslims and that, but I mean there is a pattern here, right? When these things happen every day in Turkey, in Lebanon, Syria for sure, Afghanistan, and these places, and no one talk about it as if it's normal. Or actually, there has been an attack in, I think today or yesterday, in the U.S. where someone just entered the club and killed someone and like injured 14, and we just didn't hear about it. No one on Facebook is like pray for Ohio or for the U.S. Just because it was not like a terror attack. So just someone had a conflict with someone and killed like 15 people or injured them, and no one mentioned anything, right? So I hope, of course, always that we treat things the same, or with the same principles. Consistency is always key in whatever we do, and our moral code is really one of the things that needs a lot of consistency. Also, please don't mark yourself as safe on Facebook if something stupid like this happen, because do you mark yourself safe every time there's someone killed in London or someone raped, or do you mark yourself safe? No. So when 4 people are injured or killed, there is a very low statistical probability that someone I know or my Facebook friend is one of them. So please, just, it's stupid, don't do it. But anyhow, Thank you very much. Other news, not much happening, I think. Um, yeah, if you have anything interesting, leave it down in the comments or send it to me. I would love to take a look. Apart from that, I hope you're enjoying the weather. Spring is officially on. Not my favorite. It's a bit sunny. I'm also allergic to pollen, so I'm not a big fan of spring. But most people are in a better mood or in good mood in spring, and they are enjoying life. So that also makes me a bit happier and in a better mood. Okay, a very short break, then we jump into the second segment. See you soon. Welcome back to the second segment. Thank you very much for staying with me. In this segment, we will talk about theory of mind, which is a concept from neuroscience, and I think it applies to many things and many fields in our daily life. To very simply understand what is theory of mind, imagine that you and I are sitting opposite to each other, and between us there is an apple. Now, theory of mind, if I have an intact theory of mind, I will understand easily that when the apple is on the right side to me, that means it is on the left side to you, right? Because we are opposite to each other, and vice versa. If it's on the right side to you, that will make it automatically the left side to me. Now, if I have an impaired or a deficit in theory of mind, I will, for example, only understand that this is on the right side to me, and I will think it is also on the right side to you, because my perception is limited to how I see things and how I see the universe. Theory of mind is typically impaired in, or it's not very good, let's say, in children, for example, patients of autism. Some psychopaths, they have, in a sense, impaired theory of mind. That's why they cannot relate a lot to how people, how their victims, in a sense, see things. So, for example, someone who's a psychopath and he rapes someone, he doesn't understand that for him, what he enjoys a lot and what is pleasant for him, if he sees how the other person is perceiving that, of course, it's painful. Of course, some other people are so sick that they do understand how the other is perceiving their act, but they enjoy torturing the others, or they enjoy how much the other is suffering and how much unpleasant they find it. That's actually one interesting thing about psychopaths, that in a sense they have impaired theory of mind because they cannot relate and they cannot have empathy for many things. But on the other side, they have very advanced theory of mind in some regards that's why they can manipulate people very easily, because they almost always know what you think, what's your human nature, what's your human reaction, and how to use that to their advantage. So they are very good at deception. A little bit of detour from our topic, but deception generally is based on knowing what the other is thinking about or what will happen next, and manipulate that to your advantage, right? And if you are good at that, and which means you are good at knowing what happens next, what the other is thinking about, you have a huge advantage in many things that you are doing, in many of the competitions. For example, if you are playing chess, you do need theory of mind, and you do need deception to a large extent. I do believe that chess is not a game of intelligence, not whoever is smarter. If I beat you in chess or you beat me, it doesn't mean that I'm smarter than you or you are smarter than me. It just means that I can deceive you better. Any competition is actually based, I think, on three things. First your knowledge of the basic tactics and strategies and maneuvers of this thing you are trying to do, or this sport, or this game, or this fight, let's say. And the other thing is to have at least the minimum qualities. You have to have physical fitness, mental fitness, reflexes, whatever that competition require. You have to have, and that's why practically you train. You train not only to improve, to discover and learn new things, but you train to improve the qualities you have to be able to compete on high standards. But mostly the first two things, knowledge of the field you are doing or the competition, and the qualities you have, on after a certain level, you will find that everyone have it. If you go, for example, and box, like advanced amateur boxing or professional boxing, everyone in boxing knows what to do, right? Okay, you have like distance management, you have angles, you have to work on your speed, power, head movement, footwork. There is no one who ever fought in boxing doesn't know, for example, head movement. But when they train a lot about their fitness, their reflexes, the combinations they have to drill, but also they are all good at that. And that leads us to the third element of competition, which is deception. Almost all competitions at a certain level come down to deception. You try to figure out what the other person know or think or perceive, and you try to manipulate that using the other two elements, knowledge and qualifications or quality that you have. So if you are playing chess with someone, unless they are like a very beginner who doesn't know how the pieces move, you are not like in a huge advantage in the sector of knowledge. And also, most of people knows the combination, the tactics. Okay, I put the rook here, I put the bishop with a pawn in the middle, then I control this area. So most people know these things. But the whole trick is, I want to know what you think or what you are planning or what you know, and I manipulate that. Or I want you to think in a certain way so I can apply my plan. So in either ways, I'm always trying to control what you are thinking, which requires that I understand how you are thinking, how you are perceiving the board. If we are in a fight, I have to understand what you are looking at. Okay, you're looking at my shoulder, so that means you are expecting me to use the left hand. That means you will probably be ready to counter with the right hook, let's say. So if I know what you think, I am automatically in advantage. And that's why I think not just in competition, but in everything, almost everything in our daily life, try to know what the other person know. Even if you are not concerned with being nice, with being fair to people and considering their perception or their how they perceive and think of things and ideas and objects, and you don't care about being egocentric or I think it's called altruistic or something like this. At least we have to understand that our success in our social life or in our careers or in anything we are doing is highly correlated with how we understand how other people perceive the same ideas and objects we are working with. So if you are in a relationship, it's highly important that to know how your partner perceives the same act or event. For example, children, they have no perception of how you think of things, right? That's why, for example, your child, your daughter or your son, they come up to you at 2 a.m., they wake you up because, I don't know, they lost their socks, right? They don't have their mind. They can never look at this thing from your point of view. Or if they look at it from your point of view, it's like, this idiot is waking me up at 2 a.m. just because they lost their socks. Who cares? And, for them, they don't matter. They just focus on what they want. And you forgive that because you understand that they cannot look at things from different perspective. While if your partner who's sleeping next to you wake you up at 2 a.m. because he lost his socks, you would probably like strangle them and go back to sleep, right? You will not accept that. Why? Because you expect them to know how things are from your point of view. That you are okay, you are just waking me up for bullshit. Who cares, Don't be like so selfish. But I think it also applies for everything. If your partner, for example, you are sitting with your partner, you're watching TV or whatever, and your partner says, "Go make me dinner," and you automatically like, at least I think is like, how can you not look at it from the other person perspective, which is, I'm just sitting on the couch, or we are both sitting, and you are asking me, so now I have to go do effort to prepare dinner for you while you are sitting. We are both in the same like starting point, but you don't look at the things from my point of view, that I have to do effort for you against my wish, against my economic theory, against my calculation, whatever. You just think about what you want, which is food, and comfortably. And this is, I think, a point where a lot of problems start. Also, at our workplace, for example, when you have someone who's, let's say, I don't know, having a meeting in the same office where you are working, in their perception, they are doing their job. They are meeting someone, talking about work and that. But if they put themselves, if they think of the same event from your point of view, you are sitting and you need to work and concentrate, then they will say, okay, actually that's annoying, right? I'm very sure that almost all of us think about treat the others the way they treat you. And just all what I wanted in this segment is to stress is that our natural ability, what's normal for us, is to really think how other people perceive the same things. And not just necessarily to be nice and to be fair, but to succeed. Success is highly correlated with how much do you understand other people's perception of the same events you are tackling. Okay? I hope that was like simple and very short, because I lose track sometimes of what I'm saying. Okay, that was the main segment. I'm done. I hope it was not too long or boring. A very short break, then I'm coming back for the third segment. Thank you very much. Moin Leute, welcome back to the third and last segment. Moin is the greeting from north of Germany. If you lived in south of Germany, you know already that it is different than what they say in the north. In the north, they mostly say Moin, which is like hello, but it's almost exclusively in the north of Germany. So I was 3 years in the south of Germany. I never heard the word Moin. I read it once in an email, but they are not really used. Also, if you are in Bavaria, they use something else. But in any case, it's interesting how people greet each other in the same country, but in different areas with different words. In this segment, I just wanted to recommend you something really cool. Mostly people now started to talk about traveling, summer plans, and where to go in the summer or your holidays. And I would recommend you actually a city. If you have a chance, or if it's accessible to you. I know that it's a bit maybe not nice if I'm recommending a city and someone is living in the US or in Japan and they cannot really fly to there, or you just cannot fly because it's expensive or whatnot. But if you have a chance, give Barcelona a visit. Barcelona, my second favorite city after London. A really fantastic city that is worth a visit. Whatever that you like in a city that you want to do, if you like to go to the beach and just lie down and chill, it is there. It's very nice. If you are looking for places to eat, history, art, shopping, whatever that you like, nature also, you'll have to go a little bit out, but it has everything. It's always sunny, which is not really my thing, but I understand that most people like the sun and the warmth. That's why I hate people, but just kidding. I hate people for other reasons, but not the sun. But yeah, most people like the sun, and it has a lot of sunny, nice days. Also, something about Barcelona is there's always movement. A lot of people who are in good mood, going around, enjoying the city. Very international. I'm not a big fan also of Spanish food. I'm sorry if you're Spanish, don't be offended. It's just not my first choice. But there's always, of course, in these cities, international, very international, cosmopolitan, you can always find something that you like. So if you have a chance, give it a try. Also, it's not that expensive compared to other big cities that you can visit, and you will not be disappointed. Okay, that was all. Thank you very much again for joining me today. I appreciate it, and see you hopefully next week. Till then, stay cool.